Hello, hello, hello. Is everything working? Can I see the microphone bouncing? I think it's all coming through. Can you hear it and everything okay? I don't know what was wrong with the starting soon. It's been on for a while. I assumed it was all working. But hopefully I am working now. It is not showing me the chat. So that's going to be a bit of an issue, isn't it, for interacting? I'll just guess what you say. And we'll do the stream like that. Let me close this and open it again. There we go. Usually you'd think, being away, maybe all of the equipment's gone wrong. No, it's YouTube. I think it's Chrome. Not to get into browser chat, but Chrome's been rubbish for a while. I've got to make the leap right to something else. Maybe it's just been a memory hog. Hey James, hey Skip, too much stuttering. Is it fixed now? I don't know if you're still around, Skip. That could have been whatever was happening with the starting soon screen. And if it's happened in the past for you before, hasn't it? I don't know why. I don't know what's causing that. But hopefully it sorts itself out though, eh? Hey Ian. Buffering. Martin. But is it working now though? It's on the screen but no sound. I've got no timestamps on these messages. So hopefully it's all alright now. Hey JB. Showing two streams at the same time. Let me have a look. Have a look. Maybe that was when it was going wrong. I think it's okay now. I think all okay. We've all grown up. I know, right? Audio and video fine. I'm coming through. Brilliant. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. We're going to basically have a chat. There's stuff to talk about video-wise, and there's games that have arrived. Basically, you can have a look at the thumbnail that came up. That's the games that have arrived that are probably going to be in the vote. And yeah, I've been away. I've basically got back like a couple of days ago, so I've not played anything. So there we go. End of stream. Somehow though, a month's worth of videos happened while we were away. And yeah, we'll briefly talk about some things just in case you missed any of it. And yeah, there's videos that happen in August. There's a load of things that have arrived for September, including a load of things that are Essen releases, because Essen again is like very beginning of October. Not giving me any time, Essen. Go back to the end of October. I'm not bothered that it's on my birthday anymore, because probably not going. Well, I'm not going this time. But yeah, maybe we'll go again. I think the thing that might trigger an actual visit to Essen might be if it ever falls in the UK schools half term again, which it hasn't since 2017. That's like, I think that's only the second time I ever went, and a friend of ours came with us, and Rach could come. The only time that Rach had been able to come, because it was in the school holidays. Terraforming Mars Prelude 2 has just launched. There's so many things for Terraforming Mars now. I was just saying, Chris had posted on the Discord about getting the dice game, which I am quite intrigued by. I'd like to give the dice game a go. But yeah, I haven't tried a Terraforming Mars apart from the original. Maybe I'm missing out. Yeah, multiplayer, the take thatiness would always have been too much, I think. Solo though, I really enjoyed it. Maybe I should get the video game at some point, with so much to get on with. Hey Matt. Windows's been rubbish since 1985. Well, yeah. Rach got a what she thought was a new laptop for work with Windows 11 on it. That's annoying. Anyway, I think, is this Windows 11? It's Windows Summit that's had a load of things done to it to make it look like old Windows. Windows 7. But yeah, I can't use it for a load of things, but my Mac laptop, it works better. It doesn't lock up constantly like this does. And this is a fairly new, fairly nice computer. But hey, that's Windows. Get to see the ring. You can. Look at that. It's a bit too big for my finger. But it's okay. It hasn't fallen off yet, but it does come off probably. Depending on, like, what is it? When you're hot, like, you swell up a bit. So yeah, when especially if I'm in America and it's all air conditioned, it's quite easy to slip off. I might need to get it resized. I've got knobbly fingers, dead thin fingers, but big knuckles, so it's hard to get a good size. And like I imagine a fair few people, I've never worn a ring before. I've never worn no jewellery. And now there's permanent jewellery. Yeah, there's board games, but we can also have a little talk about where we've been and what we've done. We got married and that. Right, what should we look at? Should we have a look at... Let's have a look at August briefly. I won't go into it too much because videos happened. You hopefully saw them. I hope you enjoyed, like, maybe not all of them, because there's a nice range of things I thought went up in August. Not that, like, there aren't a million new releases to constantly happen, and it's nice looking at some different things. And when I say, like, get into this maybe with some of the Essen things, but just like going through that Essen list, there's always some things that are exciting that are maybe like not the things that are going to get featured tons. And I don't know if it's been as true in recent years of things that have maybe piqued my interest, but they have this time. I think there's some things that like it's hard to like those big things are hopefully going to get here and get filmed, and I'm excited about them too. But yeah, it's always nice showing off some things that like might not be featured as much, like them Joey games that happened in August. And like they're not going to get the views of some big Euro game, and they're maybe not everyone's thing because they're like more family things. But it's nice featuring like a range of stuff and featuring stuff just because I'm excited about it, rather than it being this is number one on the Essen list, so I've got to get this thing. Like it's never been that much of a factor, but there's always been like, well, better scramble to try and do that thing before Essen. I think generally, like there's a lot of things that's kind of let go about, but I'm not supposed to just want to try and be like, I don't want to let anyone down and make a load of things happen. I want to film everything that's been sent to me and try and get stuff done in a timely manner and try and do stuff that you'll enjoy, but try and keep stuff to the core of like, let's just enjoy playing some games and having a laugh. I think there's too much like, I can't keep track of all of the various... Is social media still a thing? It seemed to be crumbling about 3 weeks ago. Like, I don't know if people even see any of the stuff that I post. I don't know why I'm still posting on Twitter. Is it still a thing? I'm not calling it that other thing. To all my precious things. It should just be everything summit. I think Steve could make it today. But he has been... It's thanks to Steve, massive thanks to Steve for making not only the Klingon subtitles, which he does so well, but Steve is the one that was hitting the buttons, making the videos all go live while I was away, which I'm very grateful for, because I would most likely have forgotten some of the days. Hey, Jen, how's it going? Oh, you'll have to be our bot today, James. I'm glad the Streamlabs bot's working. No Marty Cam today. I have got a very brief selection of pictures that we could show later that Marty is in. He's had his time away from us. But yeah, it's unfortunately, like, it seems to have been quite well, not nice. I think it's been a bit rainy and rubbish here, but in terms of leaving Marty here, it's been quite cooler weather. But ever since we got back, absolutely roasting for the last couple of days. Hopefully it's not going to last. I am looking forward to autumn and coldness and stuff. Hey, fine with for the most part, with the incredible heat of Florida when you are constantly surrounded by air conditioning, which sadly I am not in this room, which is facing the sun. It's right there through them blinds. I've got a little fan though. Right, let's briefly then. Yeah, that makes sense. We'll do the videos that happen in August, then we can talk about the holiday and the marriage and stuff if you'd like to, and then we'll talk about the Essen things and what will be on the vote, which I will do after the stream. This should move me around. Hey, there I am. I'm still kind of in there. So this is just the YouTube page, isn't it? The thumbnails and things are everywhere. It was a right palaver trying to get all of the videos ready. So things that happen in August, in case you missed any of them, you can also click on the channel page if you would like. Slickerdrips.co.uk is a quick link to it. That still exists. So we had a couple of playthroughs of Spirit Island, which was like a Patreon-only stream, right? It's trying to think back all that way now. There were 2 games that were edited down into proper playthroughs. And yeah, you can see me playing some stuff from Jagged Earth. Grin Trickster, Stirs Up Trouble was one of the things I played as. I'll stop hovering my mouse over thumbnails so they don't play things. We've got Arkham Horror 2nd Edition. I did a playthrough, a big playthrough series for this earlier in the year, and filmed this review as part of it. It's not a first impression when you've played the game like so many times for so many years, is it? But yeah, a kind of a review video. It was meant to go up with it all, and in the process of getting all of these videos together, realised it never went up, so it just went up there and did better than practically every playthrough that happened the rest of the month. Star Wars Outer Rim Unfinished Business got finished. See some big story-based Star Wars adventures with Chewie. It's a great game. Hopefully do another one of that against maybe a non-bounty hunter AI character and pick someone else to be. Ascendancy was a great big 4X. It was on Kickstarter, a great big 4X game with some combat inspired by turn-based role-playing games, huge kind of game trees, loads of tech trees, leveling up your people. You see a big overview of how that worked. I mentioned the Joey games. It's 3 games from designer Phil Walker Harding and his wife. They've started a company publishing their own games, as well as all of the great things Phil's done, like, say, things like Sushi Go, Just for a Star, so that juggernaut. They're producing their own, so Busy Beaks is like, they're all kind of family games. Busy Beaks is maybe the most complex one, where you've got all of these birds with different kinds of powers on them. All the cards are identical per bird, but there's tons of types. Choose some in a game, and you are trying to collect sets of birds. I think you need a set of 5 of the same bird, but all of the birds have different powers of how you can swap them around, pick more from the deck, and all of that to try and make that happen. It's fantastic. A new series of Eldritch Horror. Partly because, hey, it's always like going back to some Eldritch Horror, but also I do quite like symmetry, and we went on holiday last year. There was an Eldritch Horror series then. I like being a bit symmetrical about it and doing another one while we were away. So that's run through the whole time. I think that finished on Sunday, right? Midhala is, as saying in chat, yeah, it's been cancelled. Like, such a shame. Like, I think it's one of those things where, like, the funding goal was actually, you need to put your funding goal low on Kickstarter for it to be successful or something like that, and then they actually needed a lot more than it seems like they were getting, which is gutted. I thought, like, I'd backed it. I thought it was all done and dusted. It's happening, fantastic. We'll play through that when it's produced. But yeah, it seems like it's cancelled. Hopefully it will come back in some form, whether that's just, you know, a redone campaign, whether it's through a publisher or something. It was such a great, like, deterministic combat, kind of dungeon crawly, but kind of choose your own adventure, and big on the tower defense element to it as well. Yeah, so I was really excited for that, but yeah, it's just been cancelled. But hey, the video's still there. Maybe it will come back. I'm hoping. A couple of new games from Funko, one of them Disney Animated. Rachel was in both these playthroughs as well. Disney Animated is a co-op game where we play as Disney animators trying to finish various films, but the villains have escaped from the films because they know how they end, and it's you are trying to fill in. You've got your own board, so like say 101 Dalmatians is one of the films in the box. You get all of these tiles. You're trying to finish the scene basically. So you've got to get tiles that make up the background. You've got these clear, you know, like Mystic Veil kind of cards, like see-through kind of cards with the characters on them, and you need various paints and stuff to get those characters out, and then they give you abilities that help you manipulate the cards. But at the same time, the various villains that are in the game, based on the characters that you're playing, will do things to mess you up and make you waste your actions, waste your resources, and get in the way, or they will advance a clock that you are racing against in the first place. It's really fantastic, and it says on it Volume 1 as well, so it's surely going to be more chapters of that with more Disney films. They've got plenty they can pick from, haven't they? I think there's only like 5 in there. Pasta Party Food, another Joey game. This is a cooperative one where we are trying to stop a dog from ruining a party, basically. They're all kind of based on Australian things. The first one was Australian birds. This is Australian party foods. So we are trying to collect various sets of these to fill up our player boards that will advance us along a track. And a dog is drawing from the bag and doing a similar thing and trying to get to the big cake to ruin it first. Eldritch Horror continued. Indiana Jones Sands of Adventure is another co-op based on Raiders of the Lost Ark. We are taking worker placement actions all under the gaze of this great big sand timer. Every time we do these actions, it will ask us to roll varying amounts of these dice, and these dice will generally make us drop gems into the top bucket of this sand timer, and we are trying to do these actions to basically upgrade the cards in our hand, give us attack cards, give us combos of the right colour, because as soon as a gem is dropped into the sand timer and it flips, which it will just do of its own accord, immediately that's over and a real-time portion begins where we are frantically trying to play cards. If the cards have got a symbol and a colour on, something needs to match to try and get to these attack cards to defeat the villain of the round. If we can do that in time, we move on to the next round. If we don't do it in time, the villain will get, the Sandtime will start with extra gems in it, so you'll be restricted in that. Yeah, it's a lovely mix between the worker placement and co-op stuff versus panicked real-time. Scribbly Gum is a flip and fill game, and the third of the three Joey games that I did, based on a kind of moth that burrows underneath a tree bark and makes these lovely scribbles. You're trying to basically eat as much food as you can. You can draw lines in a particular direction as dictated by a tile that is flipped, and you are trying to navigate around to eat food to complete sets to score points, but you can play an advanced version of the game, which I did in the solo mode, which has you trying to race to complete objectives as well. Eldritch Horror continued. The second one of Spirit Island that we mentioned. Fuse Countdown. Oh, come on, everyone. Watch Fuse Countdown. Maybe you all have. Fuse, one of my favourite games of all time. Perhaps, I don't know, one of the ultimate. Yeah, I think I like it more than Kitchen Rush, really. One of my favourite games ever, real time or not though. I'm pretty sure it's in my top 10, even though that's a bit of a while ago that I made that now. Fuse is a game of defusing bombs. There are a load of cards that represent these bombs that want you to put dice on them. You might ask for a particular number, particular colour, this number bigger than that number, this colour should match this colour, build a pyramid out of it, build a wall out of it, build a great big stack out of them without knocking them over, all against a 10-minute timer. Fuse Countdown's a standalone sequel, so bits can be mixed with the original Fuse if you want, or you can just get this one, and it changes up the punishment. So we roll some dice, and then everybody needs to take a die. It's a bit different for 2 players or solo, but if you can't take a die in the original one, you had to roll that die and then take something off your cards that match the same colour or number. This time we have these little sparks that fly off as you've messed up defusing the bomb that are kind of miniature, easier to do bombs, but still get in your way and trip you up. So there's different ways to be punished. There are character roles to play that give you a special power to manipulate the dice, but at the cost of, you've got to spend time thinking about that. And there are split dice that have different colours and numbers. Hey, Rach is ringing. Maybe she's on the way back. Maybe you'll spot her. Yeah, absolutely love Fuse, so no surprise. Absolutely love Fuse Countdown. And then Eldritch Horror finished the other day, and that's pretty much the month, isn't it? I think there were a couple of live streams. There was, oh yeah, Augustus, which Rach is in as well, one of her favourite games of all time. Roman Bingo. I think, did we do a couple of games of that? We might even have done 3, because it's a very short game. But hey, it did really well in the vote. And then The Gallerist, I think, won last month's playthrough vote as things to revisit, knowing that we're frantically trying to get videos ready before we left. Let's just revisit some things, and never mind going back to The Gallerist, my favourite solo Vital Lacerda game. Absolutely fantastic. And hey, look, we're live now. So there we go. That is all of the stuff in terms of August. You can go back and check any of that stuff out. And I think I'm going to be in the way of these pictures, aren't I? I do have some pictures and stuff. So the reason that it's pretty much been all pre-recorded in August is that we went away. We went kind of on holiday, but we got married, and Rach and we went to Florida to get married and to have a honeymoon kind of all in one great big go. Because, yeah, we have been there several times now. I think this was our 4th time going. We first went 8 years ago. And yeah, this is not that I've been that many places, but I found when Rach kind of first dragged me there, I actually really do love it there. And I do love theme parks and all of this stuff that I didn't think I was bothered about. But yeah, all sorts of various things that we do there. So if you would like, where are these pictures coming from? So Marty was left here. He's in the past, whenever we've gone there, or we've like, I think that we generally don't go away. In the years when we didn't go to Florida, we didn't go on holiday. Like, it would just go 3 years without a holiday. Hey, why don't we try and go back there again? But yeah, whenever we've gone, he's always stayed at a cattery, and it had always been fine. I think, like, it's not ideal for anyone, is it, being dragged away? But he always seemed to get on okay. And then last year, there was a nice kind of report of him staying there, but kind of dressing up the fact that he hated it there and he didn't really want to be touched by any of them, didn't want to play, just was in one for 2 weeks. And so kind of thought, this year maybe he's just not liking it then. Maybe it's not good taking him there. So we tried this year leaving him here, which is a big worry in itself. Rach could tell you especially. I was very worried about it. And we had people, scheduled to come over and make sure he's fed, keep him company, play with him a little bit, just so that, yeah, he's in his own environment. Got all of his toys, it all smells like him and stuff, and he's still getting all of his own food and that, but we're not there, which is going to be always a bit of a concern for him, isn't it? But I did as well, because I was kind of so worried about it in the end, and I was reading about like, is this okay to do? Is it better? Should we just ring the cattery at the last minute? I did see a thing that recommended, like, well, what if you had a camera that's like a security camera to keep an eye on it, just to make sure that everything's okay? I thought, like, well, that's a good idea just for the house in general as well. So I got a couple of cameras, and so it meant we left the internet on. But yeah, it was nice. Like, in the beginning of the holiday, I was still quite concerned about it, and just making sure, is he being okay? Are the people going there to feed him and stuff? Is he getting on all right? And absolutely, like, by the end of the holiday, still checking up on him and stuff, but there was no need, because he's absolutely fine. There were a couple of days, like maybe if someone came late or came in the afternoon instead of the morning, something like that. Towards the end of the holiday as well, he started pacing up and down, and I think he was trying to attack someone's feet as well that was coming to feed, like, towards the end. Not in a nasty way. It's what he does when he's wound up. When like cats just start shooting through the house, running up and down. That's the kind of mood where he's like, if you walk in front of him, he might try and bat at your feet. But yeah, he was getting like that towards the end, so I think he was a bit fed up towards the end of it. But we've never been away for that long, like from Marty and on holiday in general. Like, we were away for nearly 3 weeks. Like, I think it was like 19 days. So yeah, we were away a lot longer than he'd seen before. Usually it'd only ever been 2 weeks. But we wanted some extra days to, like, not only did it work out cheaper, bizarrely, to stay there for longer, just because the particular dates on the flights happened to be, at the time I booked it, less popular. By the time we actually flew, absolutely packed planes either way, which is kind of like, yeah, it wasn't great, but it could be a lot worse on a flight, really, than what we've ever had. And it was pretty good going this time. Like, got there pretty quickly. There was a bit of a worry of a hurricane towards the end, but it missed in the end. Like, I think it was pretty serious on another side of Florida, but had gone off and made the flight really quick, strangely. I think we had to go a different way or something like that. But yeah, there was some concerns towards the end that, are we going to have to, like, is the holiday company going to book us an extra day or something because the airport's closed? But it didn't. It all just kind of happened normally, but there was a load of extra days to do some different things, and basically to get married. If this works... Wait a minute, why is that frozen? Everything's still working okay, isn't it? Let me just refresh that. I think it's just my preview freezing again. It's Chrome. I'm going to have to try it. I'm going to have to switch to another browser, aren't I? Uh, I watched. What did I watch on the way there? I'm really rubbish on flights. Like I'm not like scared of flying really, because like when we first went there, I was a bit concerned the first time because I'd only ever been on a plane. Like I did an exchange trip in year 7 in high school to France, and that flight is basically like it's like an hour, maybe less than that. So yeah, a 9-hour flight was more of a concern. But I'm bad now for not so much being frightened about it, but I just can't I can't settle. I take all of these things. I've always got a backpack filled with, iPad, a Kindle, a Switch. I've got my phone. The last year we took a laptop, loaded up with various films and TV shows to watch. The Better Call Saul had just finished last year, so that passed an hour, no problem. Like it wasn't so bad, but I don't really know what I did on the way there. Because there was nothing that I don't like when you press on the films that when it comes up, this has been edited for a flight. I don't know what they've edited. As far as I know, they could have edited just barely anything. But whenever that comes up, it really puts me off, and I just think I don't want to watch this then. Like I want to watch the film properly if I'm going to watch the film. I watched The Weekenders, which is a TV show that had Vic and Bob in it. There's only one episode of it, but it's always a easy way to pass 20 minutes. I love that thing. You could probably find it on YouTube. It's one of my favourite things. It's great. It's very funny. I watched a Bee Gees film, actually. That was cool. I watched a documentary about the Bee Gees. I enjoyed that. On the way back, I watched The Terminator, Wayne's World, and Terminator 2. And I think that was most of the flight. It was only like 7 hours on the way back. I remember that more because that was only the other day. Still kind of feeling a bit. Maybe I felt like this last year. I don't really remember now, but still feeling very woozy even a few days later, like jet lagged and stuff. Is this? I've got a border here as if pictures should be showing up, but they're not. I might have to get out of the way. We can do it digitally, but I might have to just get my face out of the way. Do you see any pictures? Here we go. There we go. That's so yeah, we just went to Florida basically and got married there. It wasn't like a big ceremony and stuff, partly because the cost of that, but also we were kind of thinking like we didn't really. I especially, like, I think Rach would be better at it. Not just the organising, but the kind of being there. I don't know how I would even be at doing a wedding for me. Like, I don't know how to explain it really. Like, it was so much easier, and we realised that we both are on board with this. Let's just because we got engaged in 2019, and like with lockdown and stuff, kind of it was off the table talking about like planning it and stuff and getting things fixed in. And then I think when we went on holiday last year, we were so excited to be going somewhere after all of that business that it hadn't really occurred to us. And it was only kind of Christmassy time, like I think it was in January, that we started talking about we could just go and we could just get married there. So that's what we did. So yeah, there is our wedding stuff. Everyone says get the Elvis Las Vegas thing. I think it would be pretty cool. It would probably be more expensive. I would like to. I always say these things. Like there are things that in my mind vaguely are like I'd like to see Las Vegas. I'd like to go to California. Hey, there's a Hollywood Universal Studios. It's got different things. There's a Mario Land there. But when it comes like down to it, there's all these places that I vaguely think, hey, I'd like to go there one day. But really, I am like, and Rachel turns out like the same way to a point. Like I am completely fine with going to the same place and doing. We do the same things, but there's always like new extra stuff that we add in. But yeah, I'm very fine with repetition and finding something that I like and just doing that. Yeah, we didn't have no Elvis wedding this time. I think that's us. Is it change? Hey, there you go. There's a... That's putting the ring on and stuff. You see, if Rachel makes it home in time, you can see her ring if you like. Mine is that. And just some various little pictures of us enjoying the sun and stuff, enjoying they're going through a heat wave in Florida when we got there. That's us on a lake at Disney Springs. That's the volcano at the water park at Volcano Bay. That's us meeting Spider-Man as he saved the world yet again, probably. That's me with a load of little birds on me. There's a place called Discovery Cove where you can go and see loads of sea life, and we put these helmets on and went underwater and had a walk on the... It's not the sea, it's been made, but this reef that they've constructed, you walk along the bed of it and walk through all these schools of fish and stuff. That was dead cool. But also, you can go and get little bowls of food and go into an aviary and have all the birds jump on you. And this time, loads jumped on me. They're all over me. They were all on my back as well, pecking at me lanyard. Reached me in Chief Wiggum in the Simpsons zone. Getting a little me posing there with a Minions popcorn bucket that it turns out Rach did want after a load of protesting. Stuff in the face at a Hard Rock Hotel buffet. And returning, this was basically after being up for about 40 hours, something like that. And Marty... Ever since, there's basically been Marty ever since. Very, very loving, very, very affectionate, very, very glad for us to be back. But also, as that's just gonna look around, yeah. So it was only a few pictures. Also, the people feeding him have been, I think, giving in to his demands. They'll always moan for more food, and it's always tempting to give him a bit more. I think that in a few cases he's been given dry food. He's been given treats as if it was dry food, like. I think there's been a few instances of pouring treats out for him, and he's definitely put on some weight, which is not great because he's been on, like, I don't know how much you can put a cat on a diet, but he's been on a diet or like controlled food for years now, for probably 3 or 4 years, and it had gotten to the point where he's pretty much ideal weight, probably don't need to be on this anymore, and now he probably needs to be on a diet more than ever. Ever thought about coinciding your trip to America with Gen Con or some other games convention? I think it's tougher because like we are very restricted in the times that we can ever go on holiday. Because Rach is a teacher, we are stuck with you've got to go in the school holidays, which, you know, hasn't, like, so we've always been to America towards the end of August, which isn't so bad because a lot of America goes back to school in August, so it's not very quiet. If you went in the middle of March or something at a time when there isn't a holiday, I don't know when they are, but if you went in the middle of term time here and in America, it would be a million times cheaper, quieter, all of that stuff. But yeah, so we're limited then. I think, when was, like, Gen Con was, is it like the very end of July, very beginning of August? We probably could do that. But I think, like Rach enjoyed a time at Essen and enjoys going to the expo. Yeah, I don't know how fussed Rach would be to go into it. And it's always like, it would be less, wouldn't it? Flying, you'd fly to Indianapolis and then you would fly to wherever you were going after that. Like, I could do it, but like I think conventions in general, like I enjoy being at the expo until I don't, and I enjoy, like, GridCon's a much smaller kind of convention, so like I really enjoy that. But the general thing that I did do a bit still at the UK Games Expo, but the thing of Essen, of just kind of being there, running around all day for like 4 days, carrying around this ridiculous amount of games and bringing it all back, and then panicking about getting it all done. Yeah, it's an amazing place, and it's great, like, seeing people and like and seeing the people that actually make the games rather than just talking through email. There's a lot that I miss about it in a way, but the cost of doing it and the actual, like, I don't really like travel. Like, the worst part about the holiday is that it's not just being stuck on the flight and stuff, it's the before and after of it. I know that flying to Essen is only like 90 minutes, 2 hours, but you've still got like the panic and the pressure and stuff of being in the airport. Is everything done? Is everything here? Is everything on time? Do I do this? How long is it going to take to get through security? Getting barked at by security about, like, oh no, here we've got these rules, you need these things out there, you haven't done this properly. I have done it properly. And yeah, getting through, like, I think, well, it's hard to say because I only went to Essen when we were part of the EU as well, so it was always quite smooth going through all kinds of like passport control and stuff. Like, I don't know how it is now, because like that's the biggest wait really in getting into the States. Usually we actually breezed through quite quickly this time, but usually after you get off the flight we are stuck for an hour, 2 hours sometimes at immigration. Just massive queues, takes forever to get through. Coming back, of course, still actually a queue this time, but maybe that's because like there's just the airports don't want to employ people. But yeah, getting back, you go through we're from the UK line and scan your passport. It might be the last time that we go away with my lovely proper passport, for I have to get one of them daft blue ones. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Essen and all that stuff. Yeah, I think from like a practical point of view as well, like I don't think it would work for going there and getting, I suppose we were talking about Gen Con as well, but a similar thing, like I don't know what I would do with like all the games that I would get. Like I don't think you could send that many back, and like there was the cost of just sending it for a start in 2019, but we were in the EU. So that's just a personal box I'd sent myself. You know, I bought them all in Germany, taxes all paid in Germany, got sent to myself, and that's all fine. Now, I think unless I drove there myself or got someone to drive me there, then like I'd have to send them all back. You'd probably get charged customs and tax on it all. It would be completely unaffordable, as is like another reason that I'm not going to Essen in particular this year. Absolutely skint now. I've planned a lot of cool things for the honeymoon, but hey, that's taken all of the funds from any kind of recreational avenues, which I know like Essen was kind of a businessy thing. But yeah, like I don't really know anyone that would be driving down there in a van and stuff. That's another thing as well, that like there is all of this kind of, there's parties and stuff, and I know that like Paul Grogan always like was nice enough organised like a combined meetup and stuff that I went to, and that was always fun. But in terms of just kind of the getting together and stuff, and hey, there's this kind of industry party, and hey, we're all meeting here to play a game, I never was really part of that. Like, not necessarily from people's fault, it's probably my awkward fault as well, but yeah, I never really part of that element of it, so I don't really miss that kind of part. It would be really cool to go to an American convention though. I think the Dice Tower Con was not too far before we actually go. Like, it's always better to go at the very end, just because like I don't think every American place, but a lot of American places have gone back to school and it'll be a bit quieter and nicer. That's why we tend to go like at the very end there. But I would really like to, I don't know how different it would actually be. I would like to see a Gen Con, because I've seen a few Essens now, but I don't know about coinciding it with stuff. Like I thought when I was looking this year and pricing up Essen, when I was still kind of, I don't think I'm going, but let's see if it's possible and what I would do. I did think about like, well, you could go somewhere else, like before or after as well. Like you get in the train into stuff, you're flying into Dusseldorf, or there's the train that you get, I think I'm right in saying this, I haven't been for a few years now, but I think the train you get out of Essen back to Dusseldorf Airport, that train goes all the way to Amsterdam. And like, I think similarly, there are other places, you could go to other places in Germany and see something. You could go to, like, I've never been to Amsterdam. Like, you could go to some of these places. Like, I've thought about that, like kind of the opposite way around. But yeah, I don't think I'm going anywhere this time. Yeah, I think Marty's experience of the treats is his highlight. I wonder if he'll come up. He is actually sat behind the chair now. I don't know if he'll come up for us. He's having a big stretch. Are you going to come up? Everyone wants to see you. He's having a sniff at some papers that he would never have been interested in before. Come up. Go on. Usually desperate. Come up when there's a game set up on here. Let me get him. Here he is. Don't go off in that way. People haven't seen you for ages. Let me say hello a bit. It's the perfect height for the camera, actually. If it was a little bit lower, you're looking at what we have to look at all the time. I wonder if, where's the overhead camera? Can I get that to... Come on. The overhead camera not want to work. Oh, he's lying down. You see him? There he is. Just off camera. Wonder if, can I... It's not going to make me... It's not going to let me make it smaller. There we go, that's kind of okay, isn't it? That's a kind of makeshift Marty cam. Yeah, he has been... He's not really that fussed about being in his chair at the moment. I think as it cools down, he'll be back to that. And he likes to change it up a bit. But yeah, he's been very, very affectionate and lovely. But it is also getting towards... You always got to bear in mind, you think, oh, he's being dead nice. You always got to bear in mind, it's getting towards his dinner time. And that's probably just as much of a factor as anything else. Hey, Steve. Oh, thank you. I know. Who'd have thought it? Like, that's what's strange as well. That, like, people were saying kind of beforehand and afterwards about, like, oh, what's it going to be like and all this. And we kind of thought just how it has ended up being that, well, we've been together for, like, nearly 11 and a half years now. And, like, we've been engaged for, is it 4 years? I think about just under 4 years. So, like... kind of like it's nice that it's happened and stuff, but do you know what I mean? Oh, Marty's just knocking all the stuff off my desk with his tail. Why couldn't you have just come a little bit? There he is. Let's just keep zooming out as he arrives on there. Hey Rohit, how's it going? Yeah, I had an amazing time. Like, there's still like loads of stuff we'd like to do. There's loads of stuff we haven't had time for or didn't have money for. And like the very first time we ever went, this is kind of just a stream talking about Florida again, isn't it? I think this is a bit of Rachel's hair tinsel that she had done for the holiday. But yeah, the very first time that we went, it was too much in a way that we had tickets for Universal and Disney that have all got all of these parks. For the very first time for me, I'd never seen any of it, and there's just too much to see there. Now, I think there would kind of be time, especially because I only ever saw those Disney things once, that like, yeah, I'd like to go see those parks, but Universal is where it's at. It's Velocicoaster. Well, I say that, really, it's the Spider-Man ride and Men in Black, but Velocicoaster is pretty amazing. Was there early access Story Sunday this week? No, there wasn't. There is something that I filmed an episode of. It's Shadows of Brimstone. I did manage to film an episode of it before we went. It was like one of the very last things that I did. I didn't have time to edit it, but thought maybe I'll get time when I get back. I didn't have time at all before kind of Sunday. And I'm hoping to have time in the week. Like, I don't know if it's going to be a kind of crammed in. I'll have a chance to edit it. It'll just go up a few days early rather than a week early and then go up there. But I'm and go up on the channel normally on Sunday. So we don't, because I really like that I haven't missed a Sunday since April. Like, the Story Sunday things have been going on. But yeah, it might have to take a bit of a hiatus. I'd really like it not to. But I just think even if I manage to edit it, I don't know that I'm going to have time to film more episodes of it, or something's annoyed him. They're going to investigate what's been making a noise. It's him whacking his tail on stuff. And I've got me... Hey, this is 2 whole years this freestyle cup's been in use for. Got my money's worth. You don't activate it every day. That would cost a fortune. But it's had a lot of squash in it. Can you sniff things that are over here? What was up with lying down where everyone could see you? But yeah, it's not on there. There's nothing yet. And so this week so far, the plan is, there was a post I wrote it last night, I think, because I did it all on my phone, thinking that would, oh, well, I'll just do a brief thing on my phone. Ended up way longer than anything I have ever posted, I think. But yeah, the plan is this week, this thing now, and we'll have a vote after it of what the priority is for these things that have arrived. But there will be some kind of stream on Friday. I don't know what that is. It might be one of the voted things. It might be something with Rach, if she's up for that, and we have time and stuff. Like, we've got, like, Tales from the Red Dragon Inn. It is going to be in the vote, but it's a dungeon crawly game, but kind of, I don't want to say introductory, like it's all simple, but it's like, shame that just getting it out on the table and just doing things straight away, doing fun, cool moves. It's got a nice sense of humor to it. But yeah, we played that with a friend on Saturday. We played a couple of scenarios of it. Really enjoyed it. I think that would be a good story time thing if Rach is up for that. I'm sure it's all bunching up. Maybe Sagrada Artisans came out recently, and I did buy that with the idea of, after checking with Rach, with the idea of maybe doing a streaming series of that, and like we did with, although cooperatively, like we did with Role Player Adventures, where we played through the whole thing together. Like maybe we would do that with Sagrada Artisans. I don't know though. It's up to the time that we have, how much time I get to practice stuff, which might be not that much. So if you see in that picture that I put on Patreon, or it's on the thumbnail as well for this, of all the things that have arrived, there are some things that have deadlines. There are Kickstarter things. A lot of the things are Essen arrivals, so they have deadlines to be done, before the event, which is surprisingly close. And then there are other things that, a few things I've bought, a few things I've been sent that aren't Essen specific. Yeah, there's a lot of kind of panic bubbling up. And I say as well that, like, yeah, there's a few things, like, I hope that you're going to be excited by all this stuff that's coming. There's more stuff that isn't going to be on the vote because it hasn't arrived yet. But as far as I know, they are coming. Like the Shipyard 2nd edition and Evacuation from Delicious Games. Nucleum. I'm saying the right name, right? It's Nucleum from Board and Dice. That is hopefully going to arrive before Essen. And a few other things. Pampero is not going to be here till after Essen. Just got word that this morning that, like, it is going to be coming, but it's not going to be before Essen. But yeah, there's hopefully a lot of the things that you're most excited about are going to be arriving here, and there's some things just haven't had a response for yet. I have, like, I think I went through I was going through the preview before the stream started, so I haven't sent any more kind of emails today. But yeah, there's a few things that might have come up on the preview recently while we've been away, because I sent all the emails before we've been away. A few things I haven't had responses back from yet that still hold out hope for. Hey, maybe there'll be some omissions just because I don't get sent things from them anymore for whatever reason, which is a shame. Not getting into it, but yeah, there's some, especially like, there's all of these companies, right, that there's going to be 3 games coming from, I don't know why I keep reaching for things to mess with. There's going to be 3 games coming from Porter Games stroke Chili Fox Games. Not that they are the same company, it's just that Isla Svensson is involved in both. And has always been very lovely, like, knew about this channel when it had like 100 subscribers or something, and it's always been very encouraging and very nice. I think I'm going to put me back now because he might actually be going to his chair. Unfortunately, his camera's not plugged in. Let me move these out of the way for you. Let's try and get to things in the most awkward way possible.
It's got to be for attention, isn't it? I was going to say, yeah, there's 3 things coming from him. Always been great, always been lovely. And there's a load of companies that, well, not loads, but there's a few companies that I thought, like, oh, I had a great relationship, but it seems to, out of nowhere, nothing happened, but doesn't seem to be that way anymore. But yeah, rather than focusing on that and chasing after things or begging for things, there's other things that I'm excited about covering. And I'm excited about, like, as I was saying earlier, there's these hopefully really exciting big things that are probably going to be high up in the hotness anyway, but there are also other things that I think I used to do more of like shine a light on some of these maybe not as visible things. What's going on about? Well, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, we're talking about things happening on Sunday. What kind of tangent was that? Went off on from it. And then Paul and Broken Meeple drive to Essen last year, grab a lift. Yeah, it's easier for them because they live like dead close to each other. And I'm like, it's why I'm not, like, we talked about, hopefully there's going to be something that, some things that me and Paul can do later in the year, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of vague at the moment, but the reason that we don't do anything in person together really is the fact that I live like 4 hours away from him. It's a long way away to go. Yeah, and they're kind of like on the south together, aren't they? Big road trip. Maybe one day. I'd have nowhere to stay this time. Oh mate, your 31st anniversary is tomorrow. Happy anniversary. Hopefully be there in 31 years. Big road trip. The Spider-Man ride is the absolute best. I'd say, like, as well, we've always been on it and been on it a fair few times. The last 2 times that we went, this time and last time, been on it so much, know practically the thing off by heart, and it's still so fun. And it's not like, I bet you can see videos of it on YouTube if you haven't seen the ride before. The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man at Universal Studios. It's like one it's not really a roller coaster. You're going on a track and stuff and seeing these screens. You're wearing 3D glasses for it, and the car is spinning and jerking around. It like makes it feel like you're going up in the air. There's like fireballs. It's dropping water on you and stuff. It is such a good ride. It does it so effectively. And then I do love Spider-Man and don't really care about the Transformers, especially the Transformers movies. I used to have Transformers toys and probably watch the cartoon, but I never liked them films. There's a Transformers ride in the other park. Oh, it's not Universal Studios, it's Islands of Adventure. At Universal Studios, there's a Transformers ride that is built off the exact same stuff as the Spider-Man one, and I hate it. It jerks you around so badly. I feel like stuff's just flashing up at your face with no idea what is happening, and like maybe it's more simplistic with the Spider-Man things, but hey, Hobgoblin is throwing fireball pumpkins at you. The Electro is shooting electro bolts at you. You know, they've got elements. It separates them well, rather than this bad guy is silver and metal and angry. This bad guy is silver and metal and angry. Let's just talk about rides for a while. Matt, you from Canada and go to Florida every year. Bring a suitcase for board games. Happy Troll Gaming. I was trying to look at, did you go to Orlando? I was trying to look up like a game shop to go to. We did go a couple of times way back when to Cool Stuff Inc. It was cool for having like a database of stuff, but as a game shop, it was mainly tables and tables for Magic, and it's from the few things that I read, it seems to have gone more that way, and it's quite a way out, so we didn't go to it. We did pick up a couple of things, like we went to a Barnes and Noble for the first time. Books in America are expensive. What's going on? I thought RRP was a lot in England. It's like twice as much for a paperback or something. But hey, they sell some games there. And yeah, largely that's what I got. I got some Shadows of Brimstone stuff as well, because hey, it's expensive getting them in the UK, and I was in America for a bit. But yeah, I would love to. It's not like, yeah, financially more than anything, it's not feasible for us to be able to go there every year, but I would love it to be. It would be amazing. And hey, on that note, hey, you could support the channel. It funds the ever-rising cost of games and stuff, and lets me be able to do this at all. There's Patreon, there's Ko-fi and stuff. Oh, thanks, Rohit. Enjoy work. Enjoy bed, Jen. Yeah, I'm very excited for Nucleum. And hopefully, like, I think it's coming for Essen. You never know, do you, until it's actually here. Maybe it's just going to be later. But, yeah, I did send them a message and everything seemed cool. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I would like to see it. So, should we have a look then? Rachel's got back. Maybe she'll make an appearance in here. I think she's coming. But yeah, we'll have a look at the things that have arrived and things that are going to be in the vote. Rach? Are you making an appearance? Oh, let me get this up. Let's have a look at some things. Hello. You're live, Rach.
Hello.
There's some of your hair tinsel over here.
What?
Over here. It was in the keyboard.
Oh.
And Marty's in his chair. Whole gang's here now. Answer a load of questions, Rach. I don't know. Quick, it's going to turn into a Q&A. Ask Rach a question. Right, I'll quickly go through this list. This will be the vote list that I'll put on Patreon after the stream. It's what you can vote for, and it'll be like the priority of what I do the playthroughs for. There's a load of stuff that is for Essen, so it is going to get done by the end of the month, but there's not a million other things. The stuff I'm getting is because it's at Essen. Like, I don't want to cram too many non-Essen things on here when there's already so many things to learn. So from that, there is going to be... Just switch to this. Hey, there we go. I need to... Oh, Rach isn't on it anymore. Here we go, let's...
Perfect.
You only need to see their titles and stuff, really. Not get into it too much. You can Google them on Board Geek if your interest is piqued. So we've got Aldebaran Duel, which is a 1 or 2 play game from Vladimir Suchy. So there are 3 new Vladimir Suchy games. Well, Shipyard is a redo. But yeah, 3 Vladimir Suchy games are coming out this Essen, hopefully. This is not from Delicious Games, though. This is from Dino Toys, where you're colonizing planets, researching technologies, and dominating the entire planetary system. We have Space Kraken.
Are you telling me this?
Yeah, I tell you as well. Telling everybody.
You kept looking at me like it was just for me.
We have Space Kraken, which is a sci-fi dungeon crawler. Well, actually, it says it better in the description that I've covered up. A roguelike sci-fi dungeon crawler for a solo player, but you can make it multiplayer if you like. So a big space dungeon crawly thing, but it's all in a book. No big box with minis. It's all done with a kind of game master involved in the book and a little bit choose your own adventure in the sense that, you know, when you used to get those books and they had like a fold out flap at the back for your character sheet and all this, this has got some of that stuff, but it's got, I've seen it's got like loads of fold out flaps for the various types and levels of enemy. So, okay, we're fighting them on this page. There's their stats flapped out. There's my stats. Yeah, it seems really cool. I'm really excited about that. Revive is getting expanded range. If you haven't played Revive yet. From a porter that is going to add the mysterious life form Cyphers and just give us like a load of a new mechanic in the new arrival there, but also add a load of various cards and modules to the already existing game. I don't think I ever unlocked absolutely everything for Revive, so we'll have to just skip to unlocking it all so we can show off the expansion and it all plugged in. Tales from the Red Dragon Inn that I mentioned earlier. Rach, you've played Tales from the Red Dragon Inn.
I have.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
You only played one character?
It's good. Yeah, the best character.
Yeah, maybe we'll be in that playthrough, Rach, doing some story time.
Maybe.
There's a fair chunk of story time in it.
Story.
A fair chunk of story, a surprising amount of story in it. Yeah, Tales from the Red Dragon Inn. Very excited about that. And Forever Home, which is from the makers of, I think it's Dog Park. So this is a puzzly kind of game. Hopefully the pictures aren't too obscured there. A lovely looking puzzle game on the topic of homing like foster dogs and stuff. It's like really beautiful artwork, really lovely theme. Looking forward to that. Imperial Miners is the latest game from Portal and the latest thing in the Imperial Settlers family umbrella, which is a fast-paced, smaller card game where you are engine building you can see better in that picture, a diamond of cards, so they get more powerful as they go up in level, and when you put a new card down, you can trigger one card on each preceding level in like a path down, trying to earn money to put more cards out, points to win the game. And we've also played this as well, haven't we, Rach?
Yes.
We played this we just had one quick sample game in a hotel lobby at the UK Games Expo.
Yeah, I smashed you.
Well, I think for a longer time in the game, I was winning. Although Rach did win in the end, I think...
It is possible to pull it back.
I think the amount of time spent winning is what should count for that game. But yeah, we really enjoyed that. Obviously, I only saw a small sample in one game, but I'd say it was pretty fantastic. It probably only took us, even for our first game, I'd say it took about 25 minutes for a two-player game. So quick, but so good. And then finally Barcelona, which is, until Nucleum comes, is Board and Dice's newest, biggest Euro-y offering. Is that all of them? Oh no, there's more. I was ending the list like that was it. Tucana Builders is it's kind of like, it is a sequel to Trails of Tucana, which was a fantastic flip and fill game from a few years ago. Where you are still using revealed terrain cards and stuff to like connect these various paths up. It's in a bigger, fancier box and all of that good stuff. You know there's good stuff coming. Footprints is the new game from Chili Fox Game, which is going to be coming quite soon, actually. Like, I've got all of these in here, but basically, like, the land is going to be flooded. We've got to maneuver through difficult terrain. Can you see these pictures that I'm showing you here? You've got your own kind of clan deck. You are trying to basically get an optimal path through the variable board through clever hand management. And so far, Chili Fox Games have done us pretty well. So looking forward to that. Forbidden Jungle is the only game we saw, well, the only game we bought from a shop in America. It was in Barnes & Noble. I assume this is going to be out probably fairly soon in England, but for now it's only out in the States. A new game in the Forbidden series. I think the only one that we've played all of them. I'm pretty sure we had, what was the first one? We had Desert
Island.
Yeah, Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert. We've definitely had them. There was the Space one that I think I did a playthrough for then, and now there's Jungle back in its tin. I don't think the Space one had a tin, did it? I think that was bigger. I can't remember. And also, that's just arrived and isn't actually in that thumbnail picture, is Fit to Print, that I did an overview for. It's a real-time headline building game. You are grabbing tiles from the middle of the board in a real-time fashion and trying to build up the front page of your newspaper, matching things, putting good things next to each other, trying to get the most points that way. But it's got a solo mode that I don't think it had when it was a prototype, so we could do some nice things with that. And it's designed by Peter McPherson, who designed Tiny Towns. I'm right in saying, right? Yes, he did. But it comes from the Flat Out Games, they call it the collab. So the people that have designed, Calico, Cascadia, Verdant, they're all part of a team as well that collaborates on this stuff. So you'll find loads of their names in all of the rule books because they all work on making these games great. So there we go. Those are the things that are going to be in the vote. And I will make the vote post just after this stream. As I said, Marty's camera isn't plugged in, so you can't see him anymore. There was a while where he was lying here. So he has been seen. I'm not sure. It might have been used for something else. And to everyone you can find in the Orlando area, surprisingly poor selection, but Happy Troll Games has some gems. I'll have to... Well, it's probably going to be a while before we can go again, but I'll have to try and remember Happy Troll Games. I don't think it came up with me various searches. Got the For Science Kickstarter package there. I'd like to give that a go, actually. I've not seen that anywhere apart from, I think someone was selling it at the Bring and Buy at the expo for a fairly high price. You okay, Rach?
Where
No.
the cable is.
He'll be there somewhere. He wasn't coming in here earlier, so I didn't set it up. He's only come in just before you came home. Also got to try the Guardians of the Galaxy coaster at Epcot, and it was incredible. I'd really like to give that a go. There's a lot, actually. We're talking about, like, not going to Disney and stuff. There is quite a lot at Disney that's happened, and they're in the last 7 or 8 years or whatever it's been. Like, the Hollywood Studios is almost a completely different park, isn't it? That, like, when we went, there was Star Tours, but there wasn't the whole Star Wars land and all of those rides. There wasn't Toy Story Land and all of those rides. There was that. I enjoyed that cinema movie ride that had all the kind of actors and animatronics in it. Do you remember that? No.
Not really.
That's I think that's where the Mickey, is it like a runaway railway or something like
Yeah.
that? The new ride of that. But yeah, it'd be cool to see loads of different things. Yeah, they've got the Guardians of the Galaxy, haven't they? The Tron ride has just opened. Probably loads of that. Like there'll be the redone Splash Mountain, whatever that's going to be called.
Something to do with Tiana.
Yeah, there'll be
Princess and the Frog.
tons of stuff. There's probably plenty we didn't do when we were there first as well. What's been your highlights, Rach?
Of what?
Of the holiday, of the marriage, of everything? Everyone's been waiting to hear your
Yeah,
verdict on it.
I've just got back from work. Literally walked in the door.
Speak up.
No. No one can hear me.
Show everyone your ring. There you go. See, I told
should have a
I
little
told you it had
zoom
really
in.
happened. I can do a zoom in. It'll have to be a manual zoom in. There she is. There you go. There you go. It's not a great camera to be trying to pick anything up, really. But yeah, I showed her some pictures, Rach.
Without my permission.
Only like 10.
I didn't veto. I needed to be able to veto those.
Yeah, they're gonna come over your
Oh,
head.
don't show me what you showed
There you
me.
go. They're nice pictures. That's from the wedding.
Is it?
That's from the wedding.
I didn't give you permission to share that photo. Or that photo.
Where's that from, Rach?
Don't know.
Oh, she doesn't even remember.
Where is it
Oh,
from?
like 3 weeks ago. Disney Springs. It's on the bridge.
Oh, on the bridge, yeah. I definitely did not give you permission to share that photo.
I didn't realise you were in the bottom of it until it came on. I thought it was just a picture of the volcano.
God, you've shown everyone that photo.
You're in the water.
Oh,
Spidey.
Spidey, doing selfies.
All of the birds. Did you frig 'em?
My best friend. Your best friend.
The minion popcorn thing, which we've used a lot of times now.
Even at home.
Another big tip, if you're going to Universal Studios, banana popcorn.
Amazing.
I thought it sounded disgusting. I didn't want to try a bit of it, but Rach tried it, and it is so nice.
Yeah, what happened was I got a tub of it, and then you insisted on trying one piece, and then it ended up being
Yeah.
your tub of popcorn.
But I bought lots of other tubs after that. Far too many tubs. Luckily, we only discovered it in the last couple of days, or it's all we would have eaten. And on the other hand, I don't know if it was just a bad batch. What's going on with your caramel popcorn,
That was
America?
disgusting.
It was like just full of powder.
It had
Like
a coating on,
like
like
I
a
know-
furry coating.
I know it's not the same because it was called caramel popcorn and not toffee popcorn, but yeah, we've got Butterkist, we've got lovely toffee popcorn in this country. We've got lovely sweet popcorn. I don't like salty popcorn, so
I don't
plain
think
popcorn's
if
on that.
we had another
The caramel
a
popcorn,
different caramel, if we had caramel popcorn from Disney, I don't think it would be the same.
maybe not.
It doesn't look
Like-
the same.
Yeah, I'm trying to like excuse it of maybe it was just the bottom of the the last of the batch and it just had all the powder caking up on top of it, but it was just
Disgusting.
it was so dry, it was so powdery. It did kind of taste like caramel, but I was expecting kind of a toffee
It was
popcorn
$4
texture.
we threw away.
And then went straight away to
Immediately.
go and get some banana popcorn. Couldn't eat it. Buffet? and Marty has to come
The
back.
reunion.
Yeah.
Of the true soulmates.
He's been very lovely, hasn't he?
Yes.
He's been coming up and roaming on the table quite a bit while I've been trying to get stuff done.
He knows we're talking about him.
Yeah. And he also knows that it's very close to dinner time, isn't it? Most of all. Hey, Sheffy, how's it going? He's back the second printing of Icefarian Guard. Really liked. Well, we only did like the first chapter or something of Icefarian Guard. Just space more than anything. But I thought I'm not going to get to this anytime soon. Maybe we should get the second printing of it, right?
No.
Because I bought it, played it, sat around for months. Thought I got to make some harsh decisions. I've got to make some
You were
more
very
harsh
frustrated
decisions.
when you painted the mini and then it was too
And then we
big for
didn't
the
use
map.
it. Yeah, that wasn't the
No, that didn't kill the game, but
no.
you were
It was
very
it was a
annoyed
shame painting a mini and then realizing that it was too big to be used in the game. Caramel popcorn shouldn't be powdery.
It was like
That's what I was thinking.
It seemed a bit like it had a hard coating, but then on top of that, it was like, I don't know, a bit like sherbet or whatever. I don't really know what the equivalent of that is if that's in America.
I don't
like
know if sherbet's an
Sugary,
American
like
thing.
little granules all over it, like caramel granules
There's got to be an equivalent, hasn't there?
of sherbet,
Yeah, they must have that because it's just sugar based. Well, it's not sugar, is it? It's
flavoured sugar.
it's sweet powder. But yeah, we should have taken a picture of our caramel popcorn.
It was like being
nightmare.
coated in mini pop rocks, but they did not pop and they tasted horrible.
It was very strange. It was just like a big disparity as well, wasn't it? Like we were expecting.
I don't think it was typical caramel popcorn either, because when you go to Disney and you see all the caramel popcorn in the bags, it did not look like that.
No. We didn't get any of that, did we?
No.
You didn't get any fancy popcorn. You got some unicorn popcorn from one of the supermarkets.
Brought
That's the
loads
thing
of
as well, like,
brought loads of snacks back.
Talk loads about all of the parks and all of that stuff, but it's also all about shopping in American supermarkets.
Brought many bags of goldfish back. So they're amazing.
All your favourite treats. You got some Joffrey's coffee.
Joffrey's. Brought some high chews. We found Heath bars. They're not a thing here.
No.
Delicious.
Yeah, basically it's theme parks and loads of snack food to bring back. Basically an extra suitcase full of snack food.
Wavy lays.
Yeah, lovely. I've run out of wavy lays now. I think have I got a little bag?
I think you've got a little bag.
I think I've got a little bag
In
of
the
wavy
box.
lays. Hey, Walkers. Why haven't we got no wavy over here? They're great. It's like when we went years ago, they had wavy Pringles.
Yeah, they were good.
They were lovely. I haven't seen them since. What's going on, America? Top issue should be bringing back these wavy crisps. Right then. I think we should finish there, unless you've got some... Have you got some final words of wisdom for everyone, Rach, that you'd like to share?
No.
No? Why didn't you end the day with the children with some
See
words
you
of wisdom?
tomorrow.
Oh, you need to... What we'll do is
The words of wisdom are don't forget your things.
Well,
See you tomorrow.
We'll have a Google. We'll go on some inspirational quotes.
Don't forget your water bottle.
websites, and we'll get a list of inspirational quotes
Tuck your chair under.
for you to end
See you
every day
tomorrow.
with.
That's what the words of wisdom are. Always remember your water bottle. Always tuck your chair under, because you never know when you're going to trip over that. And I'll see you tomorrow.
I'd say, Rach, your chair is never tucked under.
Unsafe.
So there we go. There will be a vote going up soon, in a few minutes. I'll type that out, and we'll see what you want to see first. There's going to be some kind of stream on Friday, but I'm not quite sure what that's going to be. It might have Rach in it. It might not have Rach in it. It might be one of these games. It might not be. It's all based on... So I want to say earlier as well, like last year, and it probably will end up the same as well in the last week or so. Last year, it was very much like a panic, and almost every game that I did for Essen was a stream where I was basically playing it for the first time, or I'd just played it that morning or something like that. And I would like to ideally have played a lot of the games before they end up getting filmed. So I'd like to like pace it out more, have some time to make them better. Yeah, it's tough in it with so much arriving and so little time and trying to work it around everything else that is happening and going to work and all of that stuff. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. Like, I always want to make sure loads of stuff is happening, but maybe the thing is to just have fewer videos going up. I don't know. We'll see. But there will be some kind of stream on Friday that we'll see you for. Here's Marty, who says goodbye as well, I hope. Actually, if you're going to Essen for the first time. Oh, brilliant. Ignore my not going chat. It's still amazing, especially the first time that I ever went and you actually see the scale of everything for yourself. It's an amazing place. You don't need to see me anymore. Just see
tentacle.
Marty's tail. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for watching and for your messages and stuff. We'll see you very soon. He is licking a plastic bag full of rubber bands. It's quite wet now. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.